No man in suits in offices should dictate our consciousness. Milchemes Gogu Magog. This is Shibur Malchias. Oh, there's Shmuley. What's he doing? I'm steigen da. What I become when times get tough. This pilot's nothing, fly as fuck. The noodles there was Kinevka, like in the dams, and that's what's up. Who got a chab, linguistic mush? Who gives a what? You know we want. Here at Summer Fanechad, Nailohenu, Vehevosenu, Shetolichenu Lishalom, Visatidenu Lishalom, Visadrichenu Lishalom, Visismechenu Lishalom, Visagienu, Limchos Chevsenu Lechayim, Ulesimcha, Uleshalom. Misatzilenu mikav kol oye ve'ore ve'listim ve'chayos ra'os ve'shiabud baderech umikol puranios hamizragshos uvaos la'olam v'sishlach bracha seyadenu v'sitnenu lechen u'lecheser u'lerachamim be'einecha u've'einei kol ro'enu v'sigmalenu chasadim tovim v'sishma kol tefilasenu ki ata shomea tefillah kopeh baruch atah Adonai shomea tefillah. All of that food, just like that, Rabosai, they're prepping us for hunger.
They're gonna blame the truckers, but it's really fire.
Oh, did you guys hear that shot? He says the truckers, but it's really fire. That's one way to learn the trucker sugya, that it's a false flag to somehow get us ready for expecting a food shortage. But the real reason about the food shortage, the Misguidestones, a possible Sheba truck. But wait, it has an American flag. Maybe not. What is this truck? Life Care? We don't know. We have an unidentified truck in our midst. We're 12 May. Just grateful for being grateful on the shteig, listening to some beautiful songs in the Morgan mix. Beautiful signs down here in the south. Getting the parts, auto service and repair. Nava, shout out to my cousin Nava Tires. But Nava never tires from the Super Chill. I'm gonna see if I can tag my cousin Nava. I want everyone to follow her and comment on all her posts about how much we love her. Okay, so we're just pulling up. We're gonna get ready. But first, we're gonna give Shiur here. But first, we gotta see the steez. Okay. Different languages. First of all, good thing that there's no one here. Oh, here, it's in English. Maintain humanity under 500 in perpetual balance with nature. Suck my d***. That's talking about population control. That's what the whole pandemic is about. Guide production wisely, improving fitness and diversity. Unite with the living new language. Rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. That's taking away religion. They talk about passion, religious fervor. That's their code. They want to attack this Russian. This is Chinese maybe, or Japanese. Excuse me for not knowing. This is Arabic. Beautiful writing. Oh, Hebrew. Veiter emunah lishlot. They say lishlot, to control. Lishlot, you gotta read the Hebrew, of course you gotta read the original Hebrew, Lishlot veiter emunah, mesoret veiter ha'inyanim be'izun hamitkabel, reasonable control. But they're trying to control us. That's the word. Lishlot is the English word for shlita, of a sultan. Lechanein al anashim ve'umos bechukim honen ubebate mishpat yesharim. Okay, so that leaves to do good laws. Le'afsher le'amim mashel pnim. Sanskrit. Next you have Sanskrit, and then this is maybe Turkish or something. Oh, and then on the top they have in those 4 languages that I put up in one of the posts. they have like those like 4 like ancient languages. That's like these are like the buildings now, all of the cultures now, and those are like the ancient, like the hieroglyphics. Yo, there's some hieroglyphics over here. And then there's another hieroglyphic. You see it on the top? Check out the stuff. Much love. Getting ready for a shiur soon. But let's get closer. So it says,
hey baby, I see you there.
So when Acher died, or not nafshe, when he it passed away, but when his soul was rested, nach nafshe Acher, Amri, lo midan lidane. It says this place is under constant surveillance, so we gotta figure out what the shteig is. It says, lo nidan lidane, v'lo la'alma da'aseh. He's not going to get judged, and he's not going to get into the next world.
Hello, sir.
He's not going to be judged. He's from the Asak veiter. He's going to be shteiging some Torah. You know? He goes to the Misguidestones and he's like, what's the statement of Hebrew song? You know? He's like, it says, Lishleit v'yetzer emuna misayra.
Yo, Rachel.
You control the yetzer, a person's creativity, his emuna, his faith, and his mesorah, his tradition. They're admitting it. Oh. Got some communion. Live and hard. Live and hard in the communion. Okay, so it says he's not going to be judged because he learned Torah. And lo amad aseh, but he's not going to go into the next world. Lacy, he's not going to go there. Mishum de chata, because he sinned. In the end of the day, we have to talk about what his sin was, but he did something wrong. We said what he did wrong was saying kfar yesterday. He was saying, kfar amarti lecha, kfar shamati. Like I already told you that. I already living in the past. And so the lo meidan lidaine, mishum de asuk verotzai shteig, but he sinned. Amar Rabbi Meir, Mutov de Lidaine, Velisi de Alma de Ase. It's better that they should be judged, that he should be judged and go to the next world. That's what Rabbi Meir said. No, the Alma de Asi, Rasi, Velisi de Alma de Asi. Must say, Alma de Ale Ashan Mikivra. Saying, when will I die and smoke? Which we saw, we saw the smoke today. Remember?
We did see.
They're burning down forest areas, fire, where they're growing stuff. We saw it live. A whole farm just burning his field. They're trying to manufacture. The Shiur is manufacturing hunger and starvation. Yes. No, it's saying that he, like, the first guy was like, he's not going to get judged because he learned Torah, but he's not going to go to the Olam, he's not going to go to Olam Haba because he sinned. And so Meir said it's better to be judged, get your day in court, and go to the next world, whatever it might be. So he says, when will I die? And smoke will come up from his kever. When Rabbi Meir died, so could from the kever to Acher. So the smoke from Acher's kever, from Elisha ben Abiya's kever, stopped when Rabbi Meir died. Amar Rav Yochanan, Gevurta lemikla rabe. So Rabbi Yochanan says about him, Gevurta lemikla rabe. Say, what's pshat? Something rabe chad hava binana V'lo matzinan le'itzule inakte biyad man miramile man. Amar matai amuz v'ech be'asham mikivro. This is the puzzle we want to say in this place. Lo nin v'lo neched be'amo ve'ein sari b'megurav. There should be no grandson and no great grandson, no grandson in its nation, and no remembrance in its dwelling places. We should completely uproot the globalist shiabud propaganda, pandemic, 9/11 doing, Titanic sinking, people who are trying to rule us, rule passion, faith, and tradition. They're trying to rule our passion, faith, and tradition. They're trying to keep us, they're trying to kill most of us, and the rest of us rule our passion, faith, and tradition. With tempered reason, they call it. Tempered reason. It sounds horrifying. It sounds tyrannical. Tempered reason. Whatever Shibud guy put this up in 1980. Never anticipated that we'd come and read Lo nin v'lo neched be'amai ve'ein shrid b'migurav. So asked Rabbi Meir to the daughter of Rabbi Elisha, but if he's a Russian Gomor, how could it possible? How is it possible? How is it efshar that he has offspring? Amra lo, she says to him, Zachor l'toirasai v'al tizkor ma'asav. They said, listen, yeah, he did some bad things. He went to go see a prostitute on Shabbos. He dabbled in bonitarianism, maybe. There are those that say that he shredded up this little kid. He has a background, but remember him for his Torah and don't remember him for his Maisa. Miyad yarda eish v'sichsicha safsulo shel Rebbe. Immediately, fire comes down from Shamayim and singes the chair, the bench of Rebbe. Sachsicha safsulei. Sachsicha safsulei shel Rebbe. Bacha, Rebbe cried, v'amar, Rebbe, Bacha v'amar Rebbe, Huma lemisganin ba, kach lemishtabchim ba al achas kama v'kama. We see how much Rebbe Elisha ben Avuya, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, respected his Torah, that even though he was the Chayra off the derech, one of the OG off the derechs over here, but he still stayed in connection with the base measures. He was a little messed up. He had mental health problems, and he was bugging, and he thought that he could never do tshuva, and he was living in the past. Okay, but remember for his Torah, his meisim, he was bugging a little bit, and he was not sure how to proceed. But remember him for his Torah, and then fire comes down from the heaven and burns the chair of Rebbe. And Rebbe says, someone who didn't keep Torah, and this is how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu is protective over the importance of the Torah he taught. So someone who is mishtabchim ba, I would say that Rabbi Elisha is also mishtabchim ba, but I understand what Rebbe is saying. Someone who's mishtabchim ba, right? Al achas kama v'kama, even all the more so. It was a kind of a backhanded compliment to Acher. Rabbi Meir, Heichi Gamar, Torah mipume da'acher. And Rabbi Meir, how was he steiging and how was he learning Torah from the mouth of Acher, who was Shibud? How was he learning Torah still? And following him on Shabbos, while he was being Michal Shabbos, the Rabbanan on the donkey. And he's following him. Yeah, okay, fine, no, whatever, Rabbanan, I want to learn some Oraisa though. But doesn't Rabbi Bar Chana say in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, what does it mean that it says, Kisiv say, Kayin Yishmuru Das, V'Torah Yivakshu Mipiu? When it says that pasuk, that the lips of the Kohen will guard wisdom, and Torah you ask from his mouth, Ki Malach Adonai Tzva'oishu, because he is a Malach, he is an angel, which is big in this sugya. He is an angel of the Lord of Hosts. Zak the Gemara, that verse is coming to teach us, Im daimeh harav lemalach Adonai tzva'os. If the Rav is domeh, is similar to an angel of the Lord of Hosts, then yivakesh Torah mipiu. Then go and learn and ask him for Torah from his mouth. Being love over nish, if it's not al yivakesh Torah mibiu. So but doesn't Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Barchana in the name of Rabbi Yochanan say that? Amar Reish Lakish, comes Reish Lakish, our Haliga friend, our bandit, Baal Tshuva, the OG Baal Tshuva Reish Lakish, comes Reish Lakish and says, Rabbi Meir, Kara Ashkach Vidarash. So right now, the Amoraim, in Eretz Yisrael, the Amoraim, they're talking about their heroes from a few generations ago, from last generation. And they're talking about the Shibud and how Rabbi Akiva and his friends were fighting the Shibud, and how the Shibud killed Rabbi Akiva and the 10 martyrs. And they also killed Jesus. Maybe he was like the 11th martyr. Maybe Rabbi Akiva and Jesus and Judaism and Christianity were fighting together. Christianity wasn't a thing back then. Maybe that Jesus was fighting with us, and they took him and they divided and conquered him. And really, they're ruling, right? They're ruling passion, faith, and tradition of the Christians and of the Yidden and of the Muslims, and it's divide and conquer across the board. And it's always been the Romans. And that's the pshat in whoever says that the biggest trick that the devil ever played was convincing the world he didn't exist. He wasn't talking about the devil, he was talking about the Holy Roman Empire. And the devil is their leader, is their god. They are Satanists, Luciferians, and they hold Shuyos, which was Acher's mistake. So Reish Lakish is like, what are you talking about? Rabbi Meir, of course he can learn from Acher, because he found a pasuk. It says in pasuk, Hat aznecha u'shma divrei chachamim, bend your ear, hear the words of the wise, v'libcha, and your heart tashis l'daisi, and your heart put and give to my wisdom. L'datam lo nemar, doesn't say, oh, I'm a robot of my Rebbe, and my Rebbe says X, Y, Z, and Eba say, I'm just going to continue doing that blindly. My Rebbe said, get a vaccine, and so I'm going to do it, Taka, because lo tasor doesn't state that in Pasuk. L'datam lo nemar, it's not the das of the Rebbe. Ella l'dati. No, Hashem's saying, no, you got to figure out Ratzon Hashem in the Torah, and no one can tell you that. And you got to figure out what is Das Hashem and what is the way to live life. But not from some datam, not from some teacher. Rabbi Chanina Amar Mehacha. Rabbi Chanina says, Rabbi Meir darshan from here. Shim'i bas ure'i v'hati aznech. Again talking about giving an ear, bending an ear. He says, come my daughter and see and bend your ear. V'shachachi amecha, and forget your nation. This is Boaz talking to Rus, l'chayra, the Beis Avicha, in the house of your father. So, is that pasuk in Rus, or is it in Shir Shirim? Wait, hold on. What pasuk is it? So, to find the pasuk, we look next to it. I'll show the Gemara. So, it says like this. He says, Rabbi Chini says it's from here. Shemi bas, so it's vav, and it's the Hillen taka, ure'i v'hati aznech, and the first other one's in Mishlei. So he says, I kashu kra adadi, it's a steer. What's the steer? I don't even know. Lo kashi, no, it's not a steer. Ha begadol, ha bekatan. This is talking about the gadol. This is talking about the gadan. When it says you should listen, here it's saying that you should listen to the Chachamim, but you give your heart to Hashem. And in the second pasuk, it's Boaz or David HaMelech is saying to Am Yisrael, come my daughter and give an ear and forget your nation and your father's house. By the way, that sounds a little bit like something that Jesus said. He's like, yo, if you love your mother more than me, then you're not worthy of my love, which is like a whole sugya about universal love versus individual love, and what is the way that God connects to this world. The difference between Judaism and Christianity. But either way, they're both paths to understand the supernatural, and everyone's on their path, and we're all being oppressed right now by the Romans, being divided and conquered, and it's been that way since the beginning of Christianity, since before Christianity. Christianity became paganized by the Roman Catholic Church in the 3rd century by a guy named Constantine, and in Constantine's art, which he ostensibly, allegedly took on Christianity, but there's no mention of Christianity, only of Mithras, the sun god. So we say that the Romans are pretending that they're Christians and that they're worshiping the sun, but really they're pagans and they're worshiping the sun.
Ooh.
So he says, Kasher Christ, I didn't know, this is a gadol. Gadol can learn, but a katan not. He's not willing to. So are we gedalim or are we ketanim? Well, we want to see what shteig. So if I say we're gedalim, I'm not saying that, it's just the place that we're in. You know, we're figuring out the sugya over here. So he says, Habe Gadol, Ki Asa Rav Dimi. When Rav Dimi came, Rav Dimi would run back and forth from the base medrash in Bavel to the base medrash in Eretz Yisrael. He says, he's telling the base medrash in Bavel, Rav Dimi would come in with the wild stories of his trip. Rav Dimi would trip always from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael. And Rav Dimi comes and he says, yo, you're not going to believe what they say in Eretz Yisrael. He says, Amri b'ma'arav, they say in Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Meir achal tochla v'shada shichla lebara. So he's saying, Rabbi Meir, how are they learning the sugya in Eretz Yisrael? Well, how Rabbi Meir was able to learn from Acher, that he ate the inside, but he threw out the bara. He removed the klippas. And that's the way that every Talmud relationship should be. A person should never just like follow blindly, right? It says dati not datam, stay in pasuk, right? It's like the hero of Ilson, right? Like saying no, it's dati not datam, right? Like it's not like so. Everyone's got to figure it out themselves and be on their path. Hati aznecha. Try to understand. The oizen is like listening, seeing and understanding. So he says, Rava, right, the Darash Rava. So Rava says a drasha, which is apropos. He says, my dixiv, what does it mean that it says, Al El Ginas Ego's eradity? I went down to an Ego's garden, a walnut garden, to see the fronds of the sea, or the river. Lama Nimshalu Talmid Chacham to Egos. He's saying, no, it's not talking about going to the walnut garden. It's talking about going to the base medrash, which is like the walnut garden, because all these Talmid Chacham, all these Egos looking Talmid Chacham will be, you know. And they say, why are they compared? Lo Melacha Ma Egozeh, just like this walnut with the shell. Afal Pisim Eluchlach Betit Uvitzaya, even though it's covered in feces and in cement and in dirt. Ein masha b'seichei nimas, but what's inside of him is not disgusting and still perfectly delicious. Av Talmud Chacham, even the Talmud Chacham, like they say, like Elisha, Avo bisha sarach, even though he kind of went off the derech, ein teirasei nimeses, his Torah is not becomes disgusting as something that's not worthy of steiging and learning and growing with. That's why the Talmud Chacham is compared to an ego, says Rava. Ashkechei Rabba Bar Shila leEliyahu. Rabba Bar Shila finds the Eputiyah Eliyahu. Amar le Maika Avid HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He says, what does the Kadosh Baruch Hu do? He's saying, Ka'amar Shmaita Mipume Dekulu Bekulu Rabbanan. He's saying a vort in the name of all the rabbis. Umipume de Rabbi Meir Lo Ka'amar. But he's not saying a vort in the name of Rabbi Meir. Amar le Amai, why? Mishum dikagamar shmaita mipume da'acher. Why? Because this Rabbi Meir, he learned Torah from the mouth of Acher. Amarlei Amai. We think, why should that be the problem? Rabbi Meir Rimo Matzah, he found a pomegranate. Taichai Achal. He ate the inside. He ate the delicious part. He pasai zarak. He threw away the klipa. Amarlei Hashdaka Amar Rabbi Meir. Now he's saying Rabbi Meir Bini Omer. Rabbi Meir, my son, says Bisman Sha'adam Mitztayer, when a person is in pain, Shechina, right? The divine presence, right? Shechina Ma Lashon Omeres. What does the Shechina Taka say? It says Kalani Miraishi, Kalani Mizroi. I am feeling weak on my head, and I am feeling weak on my heart. The Shekhinah says when a person is feeling in pain, the Shekhinah, God, is also in pain, because we're a chelik Eloha. And so if I stub my toe, it's not my toe that hurts, but it's me that hurts. So the same thing, we're a chelik Eloha, and we're bugging, we're in pain, we're mitztaer, right? We're getting rained on. So the Shekhinah says, no, my head, my arm. In Kach, if that HaKadosh Baruch Hu mitzvah al daman sharashayim, and if that's how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mitzvah on the blood of Elisha, who they're calling Rabbi Elisha a Rasha, maybe because they didn't understand him at the time. Kal v'chomer al daman shazadikim. But again, they can make shenishbach, the blood of holy people that are spilled. And now we have the Asar Harugei Malchus, this could be referenced to, right? Daman shazadikim shenishbach. And the question is about like how to understand the connection between the Asar Harugei Malchus and Jesus. Ashkech Shmuel l'Rebbe, the Tali Rabbi Yehuda, the Tali be'ibra dedasha. Shmuel finds Rabbi Yehuda that he's chilling on the outside of either outside or on the door place, the kabach, and he's crying. Amalei Shinina. He said toothy one. He said buck tooth. Right? He said, oh my, you didn't get buck over bite. He said buck. My kabachis, why are you crying? Oh toothy one, or Shinantim, or brilliant one. Amar lei mi zutra. He's like, oh, my dichsiv behu b'rabanan. Ayeh sofer, ayeh shokel. So he says, like, I'm so small. Right? It says by the Rabbanan that, like, they're talking about in Psukim, in Yeshayahu, of these Gedalim. And they're talking about where is there a sofer, where is there a shokel, where is someone who could write, and someone who could do fair business maybe. Ayeh sofer, as Hamigdalim, who writes the big building. Ayeh sofer, shahayu sofrim kol osios shabbat Torah. He would count all of the osios, and maybe like dealing with Gematria, where are they? Ayeh shokel, ayeh shofrim kalam v'chayim in Torah. It's not talking about someone who's doing business. It's talking about someone who's shaking the kal v'chomers in the Torah. Ayeh sofer as Hamigdalim, where are Talmidei Chachamim? They would learn 300 halachas in his random, complicated sugya. The Amar Rebbe, and Rebbe says, Amai plus Meah. Why 300? Why do they need 300? Bo dog v'achitoval v'migdal borech v'avir. So it says, why were there 200? That dog and achitoval were talking about in the sugya of migdal borech v'avir. V'tanan, and it says, Gimel malachim v'arba hedyotos. These were Gedalim, and it still says that they doesn't have a chelik in Olam Haba. By the way, unbelievable that at the end of the story of Acher, they shell to the Mishnah, the first Mishnah in Perek Chelek, which we learned in Shteig in your season Aleph, Shana Aleph. Right, he says that the Gimel Malachim and the Arba Hedyotos, Onan shows us that are so small, mighty havi aleinu, like what is going to be Alan? What's going to be with us? Amar le shinina. He says, no, Rabbi, he says to his Talmud, he says to his Buck-tooth Talmud, he says, Tina hayisa belibam. No, don't think that they were like all these big tzaddikim. They had like things that were like messed up about them. They had this impurity in their heart. Acher Mai. So what was bad about Acher? Zamar Yavani lo pasak. He was always singing Greek songs. He was talking about Greek philosophy. Amru alav al Acher. He said about Acher, B'shash haya omei bebeis ha'medrash harbe sifrei minin noishrim micheko. He had a bunch of like kafira and apikorses and the books about idolatry that would like be falling out of his pockets. You can also see that Acher was not the most neat guy, and he loved music. Shaul Nimus Hagardi asked Rabbi Meir, Kol Omer Denachis V'Yura Salik. Anyone who went into Acher, did they really get out? Amar Lei Koman Dahavanoki Agav Imei Salik. He's like, anyone who's clean from his mom got out. Kol Delo Ahavanoki Agav Imei. But like if there was a guy who kind of like hooking up with his mom, he didn't get out. So what does that mean? So let's see the Rashi over here. He says Kol Omer the Nachas Liyura Sali Kol Tzemer, every wool that you put in this Yorush or Samanin to get the color, that it's raw to get the color. Olo lo Tzeva, did he get the color? Or Eno, did he not get the color? Kiloimar says Rashi, what does that mean? Kol HaLomdim Lifnei He's like, yo, did the schus of your Rebbe Acher protect you? And he was like, I didn't. He was like, yo, as long as they're not like looking up with their mom and doing a riot, maybe his reference to sister riot, I don't know. He was like, Amar like Koman to have a nucky agav ime salik, and anyone who's not didn't get out. Only so. Mary's saying like this, saying, listen, I was on the level that I can learn from Acher or from Rabbi Elisha. I was able to understand his Torah. I was able to gain from it. I was able to, right? We're chilling in the Shibud, and we're going to places and we're seeing things and we're moving sparks. We're taking the good and we're throwing out the klipa. And I don't know. I guess having a Rebbe like Acher, Rabbi Meir says, is not for anyone. He says it's not for motherfuckers. That's what really it is. Shleik, is that not pshat? Gema? Is that not pshat Gema? The Naki Agav Ime? No, so here's Rashi. Kol the Naki Agav Ime, Zak Rashi. Shalon is lach like the Giza. So it didn't, so like the wool didn't get dirty. Ola lo tzivai. So his color, it gets the color. So it says Rashi again with a kalaimar, double kalaimar over here. He says kalaimar, kol shegiras cheto, kodemes lechachmasai. Anyone who first, his yiras chet. Yiras chet is the highest level in the Shiyar of yira. It's like, he wants shlema so much, that he doesn't want to even mess up, right? And be mislachleit and get dirty, right? And here's what the Ramchal says. So the Yiras Chet is before his chachma, so he can learn from a guy like Acher. Same year of the Einai. That's what Rashi says is in his eyes. You're a both side of the and the rabbis say, Kol Omer Denachis V'Hu Esau, Kol Sheyaran Lidon B'Gehenom. The entire thing that was going down, they said that Acher went down to Gehenom. There's a day they didn't get judged, and there's a day that they better be in Gehenom, at least he's got an Olam Haba. Kol Sheyaran Lidon B'Gehenom, Ola, it already came up. Agav Imai. Because of its aim, it's not talking about mother here, it's talking about, that's a way to say wool. Temer ben Yomo, Shalom Nirmas, it wasn't destroyed a bit, it wasn't covered in teeth, in dirt, like we said about the walnuts. So Olo Lo, at Seva, it gets the color, Kolomar, Shiesh B'Zechuyos B'Yado Ola. If you have Zechuyos, so you can strike from Acher. So, right here, big time monument of the Shibud. Much love, everybody. Hopefully. Wow. Okay. I think these guys will definitely talk to them and see what's up. Much love. Good shteig. We'll report back. Bye. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Such an honor to meet you guys at this monument of Satan. To bring it down, right? That's why you guys are here? To help us bring it down?
Yeah.
Help us overthrow the oppression?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. When are they going to bring it down?
We're doing it. First, we just gotta spread the word. What is this shit? Georgia Guidestones.
It explains the setup and what it means.
So, in the
astrological
Hebrew side, it says Lishleit b'Yetzer. They're trying to control our creativity.
Yeah.
And our emunah, and our masorah, and our beliefs, and our traditions. That's what it says. This is the pandemic right here.
Right.
You know, this is the fucking pandemic, right? That's the first thing it says over here on top. Where it says we want to keep the population down to 500 million.
Right.
Right?
That's
And
why
people
we're
are just walking through life, not thinking about the pandemic, not having any awareness of what's going on. What's very interesting is that they have, I think, 8 languages which are in use right now. English, Hebrew, Arabic, Chinese or Japanese, one of them. It's actually a big nafkamina, but we don't know. They have right? And then on top, they have 4 ancient languages. That's Egyptian hieroglyphics. Now we know that there are 4, right? We have the Egyptian exile.
It's right here.
Oh,
Egyptian.
Joe, amazing. Classic Greek, Sanskrit, which is Parasumadai, Babylonian. So they have Egyptian. They have the 4 exiles before the present exile, which is these 8, which is the present exile, which is the exile of Rome. The people who killed Jesus, who destroyed the second Jewish temple, who did 9/11, who killed Kennedy, who killed Lincoln, who made the Civil War, who's been turning races and religions against each other The
Illuminati.
Definitely part of it. It goes back to the Jesuit order.
Yeah. It was farther back than that, actually.
It definitely does.
Yeah.
I think it goes back to the snake, to the primordial snake.
Yep.
And I think it goes back to Nimrod, who it says about him in the Bible. It says Gibor Tzayed, he was a strong capturer, and Rashi, the medieval scholar from France, about 1,000 years ago, he explained this verse. He said that he would catch the intellect and the das. He would catch the brains and the thought and the mind of the humanity. And that's how he did the Tower of Babel. And also by Esav, right, the brother of Jacob. It said that he was tricking his dad. He was very adept at like propaganda. And so these are the three pre-oppressors, right? Already in Genesis we see them. You know?
So when are we bringing them down?
We are bringing them down right now. When we're stomping on their eggshells, and we're going here, and we're talking to the world about like what's going on. Hopefully people will see this and be like, yo, what is going on? How can they be talking about population control so openly? People be like, they're talking about lishlot b'yetzer? Someone wants to control my creativity? How would they possibly even do that? Well, you're going to tell me TV? You're going to tell me Hollywood? Oh, no, I'm going to tell you a genetically modified shot.
Right. You didn't get it, did you?
Chas v'shalom, God forbid, yo.
We didn't either.
Of course not. Yo, we're pure bloods over here. You know?
Yes, Team Pure Blood, yes.
Team Pure Blood, yo. Team Messiah.
Corona is a mental illness.
Yeah. I don't even hold to the phrase mental illness. That's just another one. People that are, anyone who's has a little bit something going on upstairs and he's dealing with that, instead of teaching him how to deal with it and how to grow from it, they're injecting him with experimental drugs, just like Corona they're doing to the psychos, right? I was told in a psych ward in Jerusalem, if you don't take this pill that we're giving you, we're going to hold you down, and we're going to give you a shot, and we're going to turn you into a zombie, they told me. So I put the pill in my mouth. It's called cheeking it. I said, you know? Yo, you got to be the resistance in any way possible. We got to fight the system.
That's right.
You know? And so we're here, you know, just exploring, and we had to come and give. So I gave a Talmud class by the Georgia Guidestones.
I suspect they're going to come down within the next year, really, for sure. That's just my suspicion.
Listen, I hope you're right. We need to get the word out, but I think you're right. I think we are right now in the days of Messiah. I have. You agree?
Yeah.
I have proof from the Talmud in Shabbat, Mesechet Sabbath, Tractate Sabbath, 63, Folio A, Tosfos, and he says that when he said like, so the Gemara over there says that there's no difference between nowadays and the days of Messiah except for government oppression. And so we started searching. What is the government oppression? I opened up my own yeshiva when every yeshiva in the world closed down, with Torah learning seminary, and they all closed down because they're all afraid, and now they're forcing their kids to be vaccinated. You have a bunch of these rabbis forcing their kids to be vaccinated. Oh, because the Iguda Talmidim told me I had to. Oh, Taka, the Shibud said, so I have to do it. It's a mitzvah. It's a good deed to do a veiter of the Shibud. You know?
I heard though on Restored Republic today that they only that 90% of the vaccination in Israel is saline. That's what it said today.
Wow.
Listen, we hope. And only 10% is the death.
Yeah, and those are against the people who are revolting.
But we would never get the shot, so it's like a contradiction.
Yeah.
How they're not giving us the shot? We're never getting it, fighting to the death.
Right. But I'm saying that's what Restored Republic said today.
Okay, it's definitely something to think about. The way that Israel is going like sheeps.
Yeah.
You know, but guess what? Just like they don't teach us by the Holocaust that a lot of Jews were brainwashed into getting on those relocation trains that took them right to the gas chamber. But there was a lot of Jews who went into the forest to fight back, and that's what they don't tell us about.
Yeah.
That's what they have in Yad Vashem, which the main thing they're talking about all of the sheep that went to the slaughter, and that's what they're accentuating, and it's in the form of a triangle. and given by Sheldon Adelson. But they have a tiny thing, you have all the way in the back, they have a tiny little andarta, a tiny little remembrance to the Jews who fell fighting back. That part of history is being erased. They don't want revolution.
There's a lot of history that's been erased.
Oh, we're finding it. We're finding it. We were in Savannah last night, and there's this Lutheran church, breathtaking church, and next to it is this modern building, vomit-inducing. And we saw the contrast. And they tell us that this building was built like 50 years before this building. You can tell that they were built by different beings. They had doors 50 feet high. But they were saying we don't know on a lot of it, but we're figuring it out. You know, what's your name, my brother? Jim. Fantastic to meet you.
You bet.
Hey, what's the dog's name?
Winston.
Winston. Hello, my dear Winston. Winston may be a little bit afraid of me. I'm a little afraid of him. You know, smell my hair. Smell me.
He's friendly.
Of course he's friendly. Just getting a little smell. Maybe they can get a little pet. Oh, Winston, my boy. Whenever I see an animal, I always try to think, what level of consciousness are we connecting on right now? You know? We're definitely connecting on some level of consciousness, and I love you, and I want you to remember that. But we don't know what level of consciousness it is.
Well, I'd say he's about a 5-year-old.
He's about a 5-year-old?
Yep. But he can't talk, of course. But other than that.
Oh, so you think that he's holding at a human 5-year-old level of consciousness?
Brilliant.
Wow, what a fort! Okay, well, I'm going to tell this over in your name. What do you say? What's your name again? Carla. I'm going to say Carla in the Georgia Guidestones told us a fort that she thinks that her dog is holding at a 5-year-old human level. Sans speech.
Yeah. Well, listen, we gotta keep on moving. We're heading to Florida, so.
Oh, we're all heading to Florida.
Yeah.
I got a concert this weekend.
Oh, okay.
It's called the FOVID 1984 tour.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, I was off you guys to the car. What's your name? You don't have to.
No camera? I'll put it on me. I'll put the camera on me.
Okay, so now we're on the wind down. We gotta actually drive to Atlanta soon. So we're gonna make a quick wind down. One more look at the Matseva, the Michshols.
Oh, is that a plausible theory? We want to bring that maybe it does look like possibly a matseva, which means a tombstone that maybe possibly...
A tombstone or Avodah Zarah, some form of Avodah Zarah.
Right, so possibly this may be the resting place of something.
This is the Shibud. This is the Shibud Central. This is really where they're telling us what their plans are. We got to shteig up the Hebrew before we shteig up the English. We got to say pshat in L'shlot al Yetzer ha'adam. You guys see that? The first one, L'chalkel enoshut asher tihiyeh. So all of humanity should be mitachat l'chamesh me'ot million. Less than 500 million. These mother don't really know Hebrew though. There's no million in biblical Hebrew. This is some fucking Zionist saying, oh yeah, chamesh me'ot million. Yo, if he's going to be really Hebrew, he should say chamesh me'ot revava or some sort of math. But this, we know, yo dude. These guys are Amaratzim over here.
Yeah.
Chamesh me'ot million, that's not biblical Hebrew. That's modern Hebrew, yo.
Good call.
Yo.
Good call.
Thanks. So, less than chamesh me'ot million ish. B'shavei mishkal t'midi im mateva. This reminds me of something I learned in my Shibud College of Shalem. They're teaching us about the Maltesian principle and explaining that that's how, like, so many people were, like, destroyed in a plague and then destroyed in like this and destroyed in that and then this more and that where there's like a certain amount with the teva, with like nature that nature allows to live in this world. They're teaching us that on a random day. No one remembers it, and they just taught us that principle, and they just we're like, oh yeah, Corona, okay, Maltesian principle. The fourth one I wanted to shteig. Let's, you know what? Lachon es hayeluda b'tevuna. To bestow on the people that are born wisdom, ayidei shipur hakosher, to improve their abilities, v'haribonuniot, and strengthening like the power and the control of of the world. That's they're gonna it's basically saying brainwash. La'ached et ha'enoshut b'lashon chadasha v'chaya, to bring everyone together with this new language, right? This is supposed to be like, it used to be that there was different cultures. First you have like the 4 ancient cultures, then you have the 8 modern cultures, but they're like trying to make a new world order. this is supposed to be like their thing, and they want to be laughing like, oh, and we put it up in the 80s, and in 1980, and no one figured it out. No one came to say Shiur. No one came to say Pshat. That's what they want to happen, but we're on their yo. V'acher esa enoshut b'lashon, right? This is the most important one. L'shlo b'yetzer, to control their creativity, emunah, their beliefs, and mesorahs, their traditions. B'yeter ha'inyanim, and to control everything else. It's saying right out there to control everything. Be'izun hamiskabel adas, with a reasonable balance. Lechanein ala enoshut ve'umot b'chukim agonim. Oh yeah, to have good laws, right, on all of humanity. He's talking about one world government over here. Ubebate mishpat yesharim, and in the courtrooms that are straight. Le'afsher le'amim masho pnimi. Let them like really like think that they have their own government, kind of like what's going on right now. Oh yeah, we think like, oh yeah, we're voting. I voted for Trump. I voted for Biden. Both wings of an impure bird. Masa umatan. Let them do masa umatan. We learned though, Yoel, that masa v'matan. Today we learned it in Shiur. That masa v'matan was like those who do masa v'matan with Torah. They think that they're allowing us to just do business, and so that's not going to be their downfall. But hidden in there is their downfall. The Masav and Matan of Torah Kedusha. Right? Bein Le'umi, international, shteig in there. It's talking about shteig in there, right here. Masav and Matan, Bein Le'umi, that's a shteig in there line right there. Masav and Matan, Bein Le'umi. Yikabah b'batei adin ha'olami. They're going to decide all of the Masav and Matan. They're going to try to dictate it all. Not like individual laws. They're calling them chukim katnonim that take into account our feelings. Oh, this little stuff. Mafkidim choser to'elas, and useless diplomats, I guess. La'azein zchuyot enoshut, to balance human rights. Im chovot achevratiyot, with community requirements. Sounds like communism. Laharich emet, to appreciate truth. Yofi, beauty. Ahava, and love. Bechipus harmonia im ha'ein sofi, finding harmony with the infinite.
But why did they make it Sofi? Well, who's the Ein Sof?
The Ein Sof. Ein Sof. No. Why didn't they say Ein Sof? Why did they say the Ein Sofi? With the infinite, but they're not referring to a person, they're referring to a concept. I think that's the nafkamina. But great deal.
I'm saying because the Kabbalists would say Ein Sof.
Right. Great deal.
Also, this is not ancient Hebrew. This is modern way of saying it.
Ein Sofi. Great deal, bro. I'm serious. Great deal. And then the last one is Al tihiyu l'sartan alei aretz. Don't be a cancer on the land. They say that old people, they call them useless eaters. Don't be a cancer. They look at us as a cancer. They look at us as cattle. They talk about us like herd immunity. They're not my shepherd. Hashiru makom l'teva. Leave a place for nature, okay? Hashiru makom l'teva. Leave room for nature. Okay, that last thing. Leave room for nature. Spinoza said Teva is God. Spinoza has pantheism, and Rav Kook says no, like God is the world, but infinitely more. Right? The world is everything in the universe that we're seeing right now is God. But God is everything and infinitely more. We're all steiging. We're all chilling. Thank you for checking in. We got some miggity moves to make, so we got to sign off.
Getting a lot of attention tonight. An explosion destroyed part of a popular North Georgia monument that's been the source of a lot of speculation over 4 decades.
Those near the Georgia Guidestones say that they heard a loud boom this morning. Now officials are working to figure out who did it. Fox 5's Eric Perry is live near that monument in Elbert County, where crews have been at that site for over 12 hours now.
Yeah, Courtney, Tom, if you joined us at 4 o'clock, you would have actually seen part of that monument still erected. Within that past hour, crews brought in equipment and they've knocked the remaining portion of it down. You're taking a live look here as they're working through this. A lot of agencies working together on this. We are standing on this side because at one point crews didn't know if there were other bombs that were planted or not detonated earlier.
Over the years, we've had messages spray painted on the guide stones, but we've never had this level of damage ever done to the guide stone.